And hello again, welcome to Life Hacks for Long-Lasting Love. Today we're talking about how we sometimes hear things that aren't being said. We're hearing things through the filters that we have as what we refer to as an already listening, where it doesn't matter what I say, I feel like I'm being judged and being wrong, and she feels the same way sometimes because she hears things that I didn't say, but she has things like her family of origin, her current workload, her current stress levels, and this is both ways, my current workload, my family of origin, who, if anyone of them is watching, yeah, you can be difficult. Yeah, sometimes it's the kids and the kids playing up, or the grandkids, or the grandkids have torn the house apart, or stuff that, and sometimes it's just because you're having a damn bad.
So really, when we're looking at communicating and talking on subjects, we really need to find the right time, but we also need to realise that if a filter has occurred, so I might say something and then there's such an overreaction, and rather than fighting on, I said this, no you said that, no I heard this, no you said that, you know what, you're both probably right. What was said and what was heard is often different. And so we want to actually talk about a situation when we went out for dinner one night, and that filter really played, and it was really interesting. Now, I don't want critique on how I said it. This was years ago, and I could have said it differently, but we're at a restaurant and I said, I wish we hadn't have come here tonight, and
I heard you don't want to be out with me. You want to be somewhere else. You would rather be at home with the kids. You don't trust the babysitter. You don't want to spend time with me. Okay, fine. Go and have your life. I'm going to walk home.
And very quickly, I had to say, stop. And I said, honey, what I was saying is I wished we had have gone to a quieter restaurant. We were at a restaurant and the table next to us was a big birthday party. And it was the first time we'd actually gone out. I don't know if other families have had
Four
winters.
Little kids at home.
We'd had one of those winters where everyone was sick. It didn't matter, one of those winters where one's sick, then another sick, then there's another sick. And it was the first time we'd probably gone out in 4 months. And really, we hadn't invested into each other. We were busy being sick. Steve was busy working all the time. I was at home with the 4 children.
It was so bad that some of the schools were closing. Some of the classrooms just had a quarter of the kids that were normally there. They were closing classes. Everybody had this rotten flu.
And so it was a really hard winter, and we'd just got over it. And this night that we'd both been really looking forward to could have ended in disaster. And I could have said, oh, they're a noisy table. I wished we had gone to a different restaurant, but I didn't. My fault. I said, I wish we weren't here tonight, and not acknowledging the rejection, because do you know what? When we become mums, sometimes we forget to invest into our partners, and it is very hard for new dads that all of a sudden they've had you as a wife all to themselves or as a partner, and now we sort of have that baby and they play second fiddle a lot of the times, and
sometimes fourth and fifth fiddle.
And so it is really hard. And so this night was a night that we were really looking forward to, and it could have gone pear-shaped because Steve would have walked home and could have walked home, but
not that I'm stubborn much.
But he trusted me enough when I said, hey, stop. What did you hear? Because that's not what I said. And trust me, what I was trying to say is I wish we had gone to a nicer,
quieter restaurant.
And he was able to believe my heart. And so really, this is a really important tip. If you're having a conversation and there's been an overreaction, you don't know what filter has played. Ask them, what did you hear? Because if you know that there was something that you said that wasn't, there's been an overreaction, check in with them, and then whatever it is that they heard,
you can go back to it. You stop the conversation. Wait, this is what I heard you say. Actually, what I meant is this. You take the heat straight out of the argument. You can get back to the heat later if that's what you really want, but take the heat out of it. Make sure that you are listening, that you are turning your filters off, or that you are acknowledging your own filters. I have major problems with any form of rejection, and Lyn has learned about that.
I have.
Very quickly, don't I?
Yeah. And so I'm very careful to sometimes look at what our rejection, what I might have said inadvertently. But it really is important because it also gives you an opportunity to be able to apologise. The filters are, so that one particular around the dinner is, do you know what? I actually have acknowledged that whole winter I pretty much had I was just going through day by day, getting up overnight, 4 kids. I think we'd ended up with 1 in hospital as well with it. You know, it had been a really hard winter, and I hadn't made Steve a priority. And so it was really, I have to say, I am sorry. It's been a hard winter, and I really love you, and I really appreciate you. And I do want to spend time with you, and let's do this more often. Let's make sure we always invest into date nights.
Which we need to do, guys. We need to take time out from our busy worlds. We need to reinvest. It is a common practice that we put our relationship on the back burner. Our relationship becomes the smallest priority as we deal with work, as we deal with our recreation. Our relationship isn't invested in. Our relationship isn't taken care of. Relationships are hard work, but if you put in a bit, you get out a lot. It doesn't just happen on its own. Got to work. Got to listen, got to talk, got to communicate.
And we've got to just check in and make sure that we are always putting each other as a priority. And so sometimes it's scheduling in, making sure you do date night. Now sometimes there isn't money, and at that time we certainly didn't either, but date night, and we did a restaurant that time, but walking, going for a walk around the block, just talking, getting family or a babysitter in to look after the kids, or even when the kids have gone to bed, lighting a candle, sitting down, making sure you have time together. For us, we both are tired. I'm tired at night. So, and we've actually worked out. We have our morning ritual where we actually sit and have coffee every morning together, and that's our time together. And we really appreciate it. That's our ritual. We make sure that we invest every morning 15 minutes. That's our golden time together in amongst all our busy schedule, and we connect.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, one of us talks, the other one listens. Yeah.
If you're not sure what he's talking about, watch the previous episode. But we make sure we do invest with time with each other, and it's making sure that we are a priority, because there's so many barriers to communication, and filters or already listenings just cause chaos, and yet they can be an opportunity to learn to understand each other and to learn how to resolve.
How to deal with it. And this communication time in the mornings is when we learn about each other's filters, because we watch ourselves, we pick ourselves up now, going, oh, I just heard something you didn't say. Or, did you really mean to say that?
Yeah.
Or is that what you meant when you said that? And we spend the time talking. Your relationship's important. Your relationship does need the work. I know I'm repeating myself, but your relationship needs work. It needs commitment. It doesn't need domesticity, and it doesn't need repetition. It's not the lowest priority.
It is. It's investing into each other and checking in with each other and remembering we're not the enemy. So in moments like that, when those filters play, sometimes you can think they're having a go at you, and they're actually not. And it's being able to say, hey, you know, all I was asking is this, or, you know, can we check in? So, you know, if you have an overreaction to something you've said, check in, ask them what they heard, and then trust your partner. They are, you know, they're your friend. They are your lover.
They should be your best friend.
You know, they're not your enemy, and then trust what it is that they were really trying to say.
Work on it. The biggest enemy of your relationship is complacency. When you take each other for granted and you don't put the work in, it will damage your relationship. And you don't want that. Commitment.
Yeah.
It's there for the long haul.
So we're actually going to spend a few episodes on communication, because communication is the number one issue that people bring to relationship counselling. And so today, just a reminder, you know, what is that filter that's playing, or what is that already listening? And trust each other. Turn it off if you've had an overreaction. If I say, honey, can you put out the bins tonight? Sometimes he's heard, you never put out the bins.
That's what I hear, yeah.
And all I've said is, can you put out the bins tonight? And I've never said he's never put out the bins. And so we actually have to and we could have ended up arguing with that, and he would have then said, well, you know, I hung up the washing. And I'll go, where did that come from? Because we move into comparison, and we certainly don't need to do that. Sometimes it's just a simple request where there's no intent behind it.
And comes from what we call the already listening, which is stuff that's already running through your head before the comment is made, from your family of origin. Are you being lazy?
Yeah, or different things like that. So
which isn't what each other meant.
no. So check in with each other, turn off those filters, really understand the heart that was it was conveyed with, and that's today's communication. So acknowledge the filters, turn off the filters, and trust your partner. What they said and is what they meant, not what you heard. Thanks for that, and tune in for next week where we're going to actually talk about more roadblocks to communication.
Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed.
Bye.